Today we're going to discuss why sunglasses are beneficial while you're reading from a script. Just kidding. We're going to discuss what the average person does to actively deplete their wealth and what people don't focus on enough. I'm Afro Senpai, and I'm interested in all things related to the average person like you and me growing their wealth. Let's go. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. And I'll say it again for those of you who are trying to multitask instead of picking up these gems that I'm dropping today. An asset makes you money. The best part of establishing assets, depending upon what kind you have, of course, is that your wealth is growing without you having to do anything. While you eat, watch anime, take a deuce, play video games, sleep, etc., your wealth is growing. And while that sounds great, not all assets are built the same. Some people have pseudo assets or have assets that they're using inefficiently. I'll identify the best kind of assets later on in this video, but I'm cooking right now. Hold on, I can't do this. Okay, that's better. Now, an asset that most people use inefficiently is school and work. As a high school math teacher, I see this all the time. If at the end of those 4 years, all you get as a student is a diploma,
congratulations, you played yourself.
As a high school student, you should be developing your network. Learn how students work, learn how adults work, and above all, strengthen the relationship that you have with people who can propel you into the next stage in life, which is typically going to be your teachers. A lot of students like to waste time in high school sleeping or vaping or moving in and out of relationships, or worst of all, being disrespectful to their teacher. Never thinking, I might need this person as a reference for a future job because I can't put down my parents on my resume. And students, as teachers, we would love to give you a glowing review and hype you up, but when all we know of you is that you sleep in class or come to class late, we cannot give you a glowing review. Similarly, when you get to college, if at the end of those 4 years, all you've done is got your degree,
congratulations, you played yourself.
Instead of watching dumb dummies or doom scrolling throughout your high school or college career, learn a useful skill that you can monetize in the future. It's called doing 20 and 10. Try to compress time doing 20 years worth of work in just 10. Do as much as you can to help out your future self. You may not get an extra 10 years out of it, but it'll be better than what the average person is doing. So even while you're in college, you should still be studying people, creating an even better network. College is typically comprised of people who want to be there and who want to achieve more. You don't have to be putting in work all the time either. Take advantage of the study abroad programs and if you don't want to go for a full semester, there are programs where you just go for a couple weeks just to visit your sister schools. And again, most important, develop relationships with your professors. These are people who know people in the community or in your future line of work. At the very least, they can put in a good word for you. Once people graduate, they're still not maximizing their job as well as they could be. Learn from coworkers. These are going to be the consumers of businesses. If you hear them complaining about something a lot, that is a potential business idea that you can pursue. If you want to move up in your current line of work, help out your manager or your boss as much as you can. When they move on or retire, they're going to look for a replacement and you want their first thoughts to go to you. And you might be saying to yourself, this sounds like you're just using people. Understand that people are getting used all the time and you don't even have to think of it as using others. Just think of it as creating opportunity. If you are sick or can't do your job, your employer will post your job within 24 hours. It's a harsh reality, but it's reality. Let's just keep it 100. Now let's go back to the most famous pseudo asset that there is, a person's primary home. Most people think that a primary home is an asset, but let's go back to the definition of an asset. Is a primary home putting money into your pockets? The answer is no. The only way your primary home is putting money into your pockets is if you're actively pulling out the equity and buying more assets with it, or you have an ADU that you're renting out. Your home is typically taking money away from you in the form of property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. So unless you're doing the stuff that I just talked about, your primary home is in fact a liability, which is a perfect segue into this next piece. As you probably guessed, liabilities are anything that takes money out of your pocket. Most people have liabilities in the forms of their car, their primary house, necessary vacation, credit card debt, subscriptions that they forgot. And here's one that nobody wants me to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway because we're always keeping it 100, and that's pets. Whether you want to believe it or not, you're living in a matrix right now. You wake up when you'd rather be sleeping. You sit in traffic when you'd rather be sitting on the couch watching your favorite show. You go to work to feel unappreciated. You come home, maybe again to feel underappreciated or somebody's yelling at you. And you go to bed when you'd rather stay up just to do the same thing over again tomorrow. And this will continue to happen until you're 65. But if we're keeping it really real, it's probably going to be more like 75 because of the medical advancements that we have, as well as inflation. It's a rat race, and for all your efforts, you get a piece of cheese that is your paycheck. Too many of us are working hard for that paycheck just to spend it on stuff that's not actually helping our future self. You've got friends who want to go out to the bar every week or want to hit up a movie every other week. And then worst of all is falling subject to income creep. In the off chance we get a raise, we say to ourselves, oh, I can finally afford X, Y, and Z. Pretty soon your new increased paycheck is already gone and you fall back into the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. This is how people stay in the rat race, working harder while staying in the exact same spot. People like to hate on rich people just because they're getting richer. And the reason they're getting richer is because they continue to buy assets, and assets by design appreciate in value over time. That's why it's an asset. Liabilities depreciate over time, and that's why they're a liability. And that's what the average person has. But they don't want to keep it real with themselves and understand that their habits are the problem. So I have to repeat myself a lot of times for the people not paying attention in the back. The next time you go out and you want to buy something, ask yourself, is this going to appreciate over time? Ask yourself, is this going to bring me more money a year from now or not? And if it is, go ahead and make that purchase. If it isn't, think to yourself, is there a better way I could be using this money? So now thinking of which assets are best to buy, everyone's going to have their own bias, of course. I made a video specifically talking about the best assets for wealth builders. It's going to pop up for you at the end of this one, so feel free to check it out. And if you found value in this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to pay that like tax. Share this with somebody who's feeling stuck in life. They want more, but they just don't know why they're in the same spot they've always been. If you're already buying assets, let me know what your favorite assets are that you buy. And if you have a liability that you just realized is a liability, let me know in the comments. Some of us like to think that our friends or our partners are assets when really they're our biggest liability. And until the next one, remember to smile because you are beautiful.
Peace.